Today we are here for the final episode of the series. I'm so excited to show you guys today's matches. They were beautiful games. Now we are playing Agent of Sigilites and our dear old peeping grandpa Malcador. Here's the list we're going to be using. So, what's the idea here? The idea is that we generate seals in our deck, so we want to draw our seals. We don't have any late game cards. Our late game will be just more and more seals. We can sometimes put even up to 10 seals in the deck from time to time, so at that point it's very likely that we finally get to draw into some of them. Now here the list we're going to be using, so firstly Loss of Draw, Command Bridge, Traverse City, Lexis Vitatus, and the Licididatum Taliman. That's a fancy name for a nice Imperial guard. That draw as well. Covert Operative is just a great card. More draw with the strategic reserves. The Assassins is just too great to pass. Sigilitte chosen same. Sort of drew exactly the same. Michael's Veteran because I think like this is a big guy. Even if we draw it with strategic reserves, a bit of a shame that we don't draw into a Kell or another Covert Operative, but it's still 6/7 for 5 energy with frontline can save us in some matchups. Brought your finger. I'm just gonna call those Pitchy Baelish. They're gonna be nice on the lowest to put Morses into the deck. The Curse Wanderer, I think it's just slightly better than Manifest Destiny, so we're using that. One Malcador Circle, you know, it's always good to have one. If you can play turn 1 and precog it, and sometimes it can grow out of control, even though that doesn't happen that often. Alright, so that's the list we're going to be using. Execution Force is also a very nice card, especially nice if you can sometimes just deal 10 to the tank of Magnus, to the hammer, the Storm Hammer. Pretty much your only way to get rid of it. But anyway, let's jump into the beautiful Malcador games that I picked for you guys today. So this first one is against a Magnus. I keep the Execution Force and I discard the two others because I really want draw. Even in the early game I don't mind drawing because it just thins my deck and allows me to go to draw more easily into those. Okay, so first I take a look at his hand. I pick the only 2 energy card that there is. And Execution Force, I go for Pensidas because I'm like, okay, Stormhammer doesn't die, but actually I should go for the Stormhammer. I really don't care about the Pensidas. I can kill it either with a shot from my Assassin or with the blade or with any seal basically. So I really should have gone for the Stormhammer. Well, anyway. So here again I pick the only card that he can choose. I see there is also Izakar on his hand, so that's something I will be cautious about. Later on, this is a Mekachukova, he just top deck, so there is still another one in his hand. We don't mind it. Yeah, there are a lot of decisions involved when you play Malcador, so I'm just gonna talk really fast for very long in this video. Now I just go for my abundant supplies, I draw my Cosmonder. It's very nice to have this thing discounted. I pick the Vexillarius because I think it's much more likely that he plays it rather than the O, and he's obviously not gonna play the Charles of Magnus right now. I play my Malcador Circle, give them counterattack. I'm like, okay, what if he plays Ancto into it now? I'm good. If he doesn't, I'm good too. He does play the Vexillarius, which is perfect. The card I picked for these two. I mean, it's the most obvious choice. And now I draw right into my Seal of Unification. And although it's not the best Seal of Unification you'll see, I mean, it's not that bad. It allows me to get rid of both of these things. And I can also swing here. So here I have a choice. Do I want... Yeah, so I pick M2. So here basically I have a choice. Do I want to trade with my face or with my 3/3? Because I need to get rid of that. Now I could trade with my face, because it's always nice to have 3 on the board, even if his effect has already procced. But I'm pretty sure actually that he will play Ancto this turn to get rid of that thing. If he doesn't play Ancto, he's probably gonna play Ashen Blow, sorry. So I'm also fine with the Ashen Blow here. So I'm almost certain that he will play Ancto, so it's almost a guaranteed seal into the deck. This 3 has already done its effect, dealing 5 to the opponent. Now it will heal 3 basically, because it's 3 damage I won't take with my face, and any point of damage is truly useful. I mean, it truly matters in this matchup. So So we do see the young toe, as I expected. You know, expecting everything he can do. So it's no wonder. Arguably it's a war seal that I got back into my deck, but anyway, it's still a seal that will help us with the reconning if we can draw into it. So we have 24 cards in our deck. I already lost count of how many seals there are in the deck. I would just assume it's 3, but I'm not entirely sure. I go with that first, and I top deck this very good Malcador's Veteran, so I just gonna play it right away. Here, I'm kinda thinking that, yeah, I should have probably make a Cabal, because this 5/6 actually calls for the Cabal, but I was like, okay, this might be a good turn for Ekatrez, just because it's a card that doesn't quite fit this turn. I might just as well pick it, because he'll be like, okay, he's not a threat, right? So there is not that many reasons to pick it, and that's actually exactly why I play it. So it's been a mind game. I end up favorable. I would say it's more luck than just the pure immense skill of my brain, even though it is huge. So no Storm Armor yet. It's only discounted by 1, I think. I haven't seen 1 Vexillarius. I picked the best heal here, which is at 7 points of damage. Get the sword. It's very nice. It's excellent to have the sword, especially since we know that he has Izaka on his hand. So on turn 10, we can just go with the Sword of Truth on his ore and just play it back. So that's very good for us. Anyway, he has it as Warfare, he plays it, he rolls a lucky 5 there, and then a lucky 2 here. And at that point, he swings here. Okay, he plays Chucha, as I was expecting. I mean, the other 2 cards, there was no chance he would play them this turn, so Chucha was the only choice I had. At least my Execution 4 procs, but again, that thing wouldn't actually matter. I would much rather his tank to be 2 health than... I would prefer that he has a 2 health tank and a penalty dash rather than no penalty dash and a 7/12 tank. So here I just go for this. I'll play the Lectitio Imitatus, just because why not? I mean, sure it gives him a card, but I really want to fish into my seals. I will need the one that deals 7 to get rid of his tank. So I just go here, and yeah, I swing there. I'm like, okay, well, his tank was discarded, so he really shouldn't have attacked into it, because if he hadn't attacked, then he could have targeted it, and he would have 1 in 2, not the 1 in 1, the 1 in 2 to get rid of my assassin. So that was quite a misplay for him. Anyway, I go with the second, what is called? Classified assignments. I put another secret stone into my deck, and I'm lucky enough to draw into it. So there are a couple of them. I think there are maybe 3 of them in my deck, which is a lot. Not that much, but still a lot. If I hadn't run into it, then I would probably just, I guess, play the Cobalt Operative. Maybe Curse Wanderer, I'm not entirely sure. I would have waited a turn, basically get rid of it via the sword. Anyway, here, I wasn't sure what was in his hand. I could have gone for the Ocean Blow, but I'm like, okay, if he has a tank, he'll just use it and not play the Ocean Blows. If he doesn't have the tank, he'll probably play both. So I might just, well, pick this one. Or we could have also seen an Encto here, and just the other supply lines, so I really didn't mind doing that. Okay, so now he still has Izaka on his hand. So I see he has another Ocean Blow, so I just won't bother putting down anything that doesn't have stealth. My troops without stealth are actually 0 value. So now I'm really expecting him to play Ore. I wished I could see Ore with my ability, but like, it doesn't matter this much. So here he does the obvious play. Playing Ore is really obvious. Like, I placed down some board, and Ore is the perfect answer for that. So the perfect moment to use Ore is exactly a moment that you have board control. Your opponent tries to contest this, via putting more board, and then you play Ore and you actually completely deny that. So that was perfect timing for him to use that, and I will go, as I said, with Sword of Truth, just to copy it. So I'm kinda expecting Manifest Destiny. I mean, the 2 others, he can play them. Supply lines, there's no point playing that card. So I just go with the Sword of Truth, and I steal it. And I put it back onto my board. I know he has Ocean Blow, so actually I use my entire turn just to get rid of 1/5/5, and that gives me more time to draw into my seals that will help me getting rid of that. If I don't do that, then, well, he has 1 less 5/5 obviously, and I can still send this, ping, and then attack. Also, like using an Injector just to get rid of 155 is absolutely worth it because I know what's in his hand. So now there's just supply lines, and well, there wasn't anything that was really a threat. So I drove into the second set of unification, which I would have preferred to be. I mean, I would have preferred that it would have been the deal 7, but I'm also fine with that. I really want to kill this Dewback Starlight just because there's so many seals in my deck. It's actually very likely that Dewback can give him a seal or two. So I go for that. I realized that Dewback gave him Burning City or Ravage City, maybe. So that's fine by me. It's not a seal, I mean. I just put 2 more seals into my deck, getting rid of that Zulan. He doesn't have any points of damage in hand, so I'm not in a hurry. I can't wait before I play the Curse Wanderer, you know. So you go for the Ravage Cities, so I can't really play my Reckoning because I wouldn't be able to use my ability. Well, actually, I'm not entirely sure what that works. If you are probably considered to be the same units before or after Reckoning, so it doesn't really matter. I would like this idea of his, like he doesn't need any more HP, but any 2 points of damage on my face truly matters at that point. So it was a really good play for him. I top deck Seal of the Throne, and that's very good for me. Because now I can heal all the way to 17. I mean, there are many of them in my deck. It would have been likely to not draw any all the way up to that point. It's lucky to draw it now, given the fact that I haven't drawn it before, but it wasn't likely to not draw it before. Okay, so I can just go with double that. And I can't press my Warlord ability because he plays Ravage City than before. Okay, goes for the Astral Warfare. This is fine by me. Marcus Valerius here would have been a real pain. He plays the supply line, which he shouldn't. Because, I mean, like, she should keep it just in case his hand suddenly gets big enough for whatever reason. And this prevents me from recognizing the good card in his hand, but I mean, actually, so that's a very minor mistake that probably shouldn't do anything, especially given the fact that I'm going to transform this. So now, playing this supply did absolutely not matter. And, well, I do that first, just because, I don't know, I could have wanted maybe to play it, but I kind of think that just generating a seal is better. I want to kill the Malcador anyway. But since I can't play the seal right now, I might just start with the abundance supplies. So now he will try and just kill me with as many Inktoes as he can. But little does he know that when he plays an Inkto for 4, we can just heal for 7. So it's a race we're winning, right? Here comes another Secret of the Throne, and I create a third one in my hand. So basically I have lethal next turn. So I will just play the Curse Wanderer, just in case, you know, if something crazy happens, like the student tattoos into double Inkto or whatever. Put down the M-Shen, not gonna matter this game. And we'll see first Inkto. And actually it's the last Inkto because the last card in his hand is the Shard of Magnus. So now he's like, I'm in trouble, and yeah, my friend, you are. He only breathes because I still allow it. And that too. Yeah. And we go bim bam boom. And 1. And 2. I don't check how many truths there are left in his deck. I think there are none. Well, yeah, we saw him playing Strategic Mastery. Oh no, Strategic Reserve, not Mastery. It's a whole different card. Without drawing anything, so yeah, I'm sure not use this. It's just a 3-3, you know. But anyway, we get a win with Malcador against Magnus Auxilia, which is very lucky for us because the matchup is terrible, and that's mostly the reason why I don't want to play Malcador to grind to top 50. I mean, I could try, because it's definitely a deck you can reach top 50 with if you're facing battle opponent. I think the deck is doing okay against Scroll, but you need to be a bit lucky in your games, even against Scroll. And against Magnus, it's just very hard. Against Knight 2, it's a terrible matchup. I keep the Execution Force, because I'm like, okay, if I can kill a 3-5 or Archmagos right at the beginning, it's good. I see that he already has Archmagos in his opening hand, so the Execution Force is gonna be bad. I still play it nonetheless, and I only see Maintenance Servitor, so yeah, I just do it. Maybe the emissary would have been a better pick. I'm not really sure of that. I kind of think it's better to go with the 2-4, just because, yeah, with that card we can actually snipe an emissary and draw a card afterward. So I go with the abundant supplies. Command bridge is very unlucky for us. I still choose his command bridge. He's pretty much the only card in his hand that he can maybe play next turn. Yeah, he does play. So that's the first thing into our deck. Seal of Sisterhood is not the best. I mean, there is only the deal 7 seal. All the others are actually pretty bad. So now I go for the classic assignment first. And luckily for me, I get the Secret Elk Throne. Not gonna talk about my two other options here. They can be better. Okay, so now I'm kind of expecting him to play Battle Cannon. It's the most obvious choice. He needs to kill me. So yeah, here I don't go for the Seal of Sisterhood, which is really strange passing that. But I'm just desperate for some more card draw or more Secrets of the Throne. And that's another one. So okay, there are 2 in my decks of those, and there could be our only way out this game. But here my hand is actually really terrible, and there's not much I'm hoping for. Alright, so another seal into the deck. Not the best 2. Seal of Promise, it's probably the second best one. I kind of think that the Sisterhood is still good just because it's the 3-2 or opponent. Okay, so now I reveal Counterattack, a Troop, and Archmagos. I just go with the Archmagos. I could get rid of his weapon right away, but I really want to use it to get rid of 2 weapons actually. So I'm just keeping it. Also, this is a timing where he's forced to kill the 3-3, just because he should be scared of Sigilitte Chosen. That 3-3 doesn't make that much sense if I don't have the card in my hand. I actually don't have it, but yes, he needs to respect it. So he does, and that's a good play for him. Because he could have been helpful if I had the card. Like say Gaze of Origin here and Sigilitte Chosen, and I swing 6 plus 2, it's 8. It could have been a pain. So here I just swing here. My hand is actually still empty despite the Spirit of the Throne in my hand. So I was thinking, well, just adding another 5-6 in the hand, and that could make up for a big difference. Now the execution force procs on this. And here I'm kinda lucky that he didn't decide to go for the shield. Shield would have been very, very helpful here, because I couldn't destroy both of his battle cannons. But now I can, and I'm very lucky to have the Secret of the Throne. It's unlikely, it's highly unlikely to have one in your hand at that point in the game. But that's pretty much our only chance against Knights, and that's also the reason why we went Malcador over Iota or Rubio. Both of these 2 other ballers are probably better than Malcador, but Malcador is definitely not a bad choice. And yeah, and the reason why we play him is because we want more seals, and so that's exactly what we have here. So I can't remember what I picked for. Oh, I picked exactly that, because I know that even if he dies, I still deal the damage to him. So yeah, that's actually a very good turn for me. He doesn't do much. He just gets rid of a 3-3, and it puts on a scutter. That's really not much. Okay, so now I have a choice to make. Do I want to go with the Cursed Splendor first, or with Archmagos, or with Malcador's Veteran? And that's something I said before, and I'm just gonna say it again, just because it's actually super relevant. So first, yeah, you go in his hand, and I decide to pick the shield, because I'm about to put something with 5 attack onto the board, so I don't want him to give himself a shield. That would be helpful. That would be helpful. So yeah, the relevant thing I was about to say is when you have a choice between developing and defending, you should always develop first, because later on during the game you might not have the time to develop and you will be forced to defend. So yeah, here we're under a lot of pressure, but we can still develop. So I won't go with the purely defensive play, and I would just play that. Okay, so now he has a shield, which is painful, but then you can still swing into it. There is no Graph Cannon coming in next to. So I go with the Voracity, which is very nice, because all of his weapons are gonna cost a lot more. And thanks to the top deck Seal of Administratorium, not only can I play the Cursed Splendor now, in addition to the Archmagos, I can also go for my Reckoning turn after. And that's huge, that's basically huge. If I don't top deck exactly that now, or maybe Secret of the Throne, I'm in huge trouble. But now I can heal for 5, 2. I guess Secret of the Throne was fine. I got rid of both these weapons, and I can still heal up a bit, and I can still play Reckoning Zone after. But yeah. Anyway, so his weapon are not doing much right now, because I played Brother City, and that also affects Knight's weapon. Thank God. So he goes for that. You know, he has a shield too, so he can just swing here and work his weapon again. So that's quite a good hand for him. Good set of answers. I'm a bit surprised to see 2 Storms through Rocket Pod, but that's definitely something that is not that bad of an idea. Alright, so let's see the other 2-4. Of course, this one doesn't die, only the first copy dies to Execution Force. And if I want to be able to keep back into that game, I really don't have the time to play Irritated Kill, especially given the fact that I'm just going to die on his weapons. And so I go for my Reckoning, and I just move. And now I'm right into Terra, and hopefully I can add some beautiful seals into my deck that would just give me a straight up win. So I'm also at 21, which is very good for me. And he could not play the Graph Cannon. He didn't have any plasma. I mean, he had 3, but that wasn't enough. So turn after, he will be able to put it down if I don't put on some big pressure. So basically what I need to do is I need to threaten lethal each and every turn. Which should be doable, I mean, right? All I need to do is either top deck into one of my seals, or just generate a new 7 damage one. So now I'm getting very unlucky here, I get the 3 walls. The 3 walls, sorry. No Seal of Sisterhood and no Secret of Thrones. So I just go with that, just because it's a less horrible one. So I'm kinda expecting Last Cutter here. That will be the thing that will be the most hurtful. And now I'm still threatening lethal, right? If he just plays Graph Cannon, well, he can kill us. If we played Manifest Destiny instead of Curse Wanderer, then he could actually kill us, but these 3 extra more HP do matter a lot here. So he's forced to clean our board. Luckily for him, the Mortal Strike hits are true, which means that he won't get the 5 damage when doing that, and he can also get rid of Arm Shen. But that's a bit unlucky for us. But we've been so lucky that game previously, doing all of these seals just at the right time, that we can give him that. Okay, so now, while it's a bit hard to say, I am lucky enough to draw my first Secret of the Throne. And I can't remember where I used it. I kind of think, yeah, I need to kill him in 2 turns. And also if I do that, then I'm not under lethal pressure. Because he only has 2, 3, 5, 6 points of damage. So that really doesn't matter. Graph Cannon isn't enough to kill me, so I might just do that. But yeah, I will also go with the Embattled Malcador, just because he has enough plasma whatsoever to do whatever he feels like doing. And that's 2 less damage. You know, you never know. There might always be something that will be more threatening than Graph Cannon, and that's just the strength of Knight, basically. Yeah. They can have things that are actually more threatening than 10 damage. But anyway, so that's what it goes for, and yeah, I'm kind of happy I bounced that thing off, just because, well, imagine here, he will, if the 2-4 was still available, he could just go Drain Sight and Order some Terra and I would be dead. Now, Order some Terra isn't enough to kill me, and if he had played Order some Terra, then basically the 3 damage still would have been enough. Now I really need the 7 point of damage one, and it was very likely that I got it. And I thought they keep it, so there are still at least 1 in my deck, maybe 2. I'm not sure. But I'm lucky enough to generate it. Well, it's more than 1 in 2, because there are 5 seals, I think, so you get to choose among 3. And I can't remember the exact probabilities, which is a shame. But anyway, I get it, and I have the 5 less damage with my assassin onto the board. Alright, so these were the games for today. Now I'm gonna try and reach that top 10. I am still far away. I think I need something like 300 points more. Maybe 250 will be enough. I do hope so. But anyway, I'm gonna try and grind all the way through to this. Yeah, anyway. Thank you guys for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed today's episode and that you also enjoyed the series of WoW. I am glad we came to an end. 1 video a day, that was a lot for me. It was very exciting, very cool. You guys there are so many of you, so many comments, so many likes. It's awesome. This is only the beginning of the channel, right? So stick around because we're not done uploading amazing contents. There is more World Cup coming soon. There will be a series of duel against other players. There will be tons of things. I have a lot of different ideas, and I still have the time to do some of them at least. Thank you guys for watching. Please consider leaving a like or subscribing if it's not already done. I love you all, and I see you soon. I see you very soon. Bye.